Well, good morning, and welcome to Unity Church of Overland Park. I'm so glad that you chose to join us this Sunday morning and for this, for the continuation of this Silver Screen Spirituality series. Last week was the last week we could collect school supplies for our outreach partner Community Link, and I want to just let you know and just say thank you. This year, Unity Church of Overland Park doubled the amount of school supplies that we collected last year. They showed up to pick them up on Tuesday with one truck, and they weren't sure they were going to be able to get everything securely in the truck. So thank you for being so generous. And I would also just like to say a very special thank you to Jan Rakulia and to Kay Kessler, who helped lead up that drive. Actually, would the two of you just stand or wave or in some way, or not? So thank you all for just being so generous. And let's move into this time of opening prayer. Let's just take this opportunity to turn within, to bless our service this day in prayer, to connect with that power and presence of God within us, to see it as divine wisdom, divine support, divine love, to make this conscious decision right here and right now to live and know that that presence is an active force in our lives. And so we set aside this brief time this morning to claim the good of God that we are. And for that good, we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Well, I would like to invite you to stand and join with our song leaders in singing Witness.
To us now prepare as Kelly and Fred lead us into a time of meditation.
We let the peace wash over us. We let it be.
We let the peace and the joy and the love wash over us this day. We just simply allow. Simply allow. As we breathe into this space, ever so deeply, and just allow the love that is here this day to feed and nourish our very being. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and sometimes that includes a lot of events or times that may be challenging. But we know that through all things, Spirit is present. That in whatever may be our experience, all that is needed is here. For in this space, this day, there is prayers and love, wholeness and peace to surround anyone and everyone that may be going through a time of challenge, that we too might become centered and grounded once again and be that for another. As we were singing Witness during the first service today, I was just absolutely overcome with tears as we sang, I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love for all my life. And as I now move through these last 6 weeks or so that I am here with you as your associate minister, that is absolutely my heart. As we cherish and savor every moment that we have, I will bear witness to that love that you are and always have been. I remember walking through those doors 20 years to the very day that I will walk out of these doors at the lowest point in my life, and know how I have been seen and supported, loved, carried in prayer through so many different seasons in my life. Seeing miracle upon miracle and healing and wholeness of life and love within my own life, knowing that a miracle is simply us living the highest form of spiritual law, for it is available to us all. I will bear witness to your love for all my life. And so now, let us simply breathe into this love, into the silence, and open ourselves for whatever may be that point of healing in each one of us this day, and allow the love that is here move through and bless in the silence. There is a place for all at Unity Church of Overland Park. Open to your own magnificence and let go of fear, and let your music soar. Let your music soar. And remember that I will bear witness to your love for all my life. And so it is. Amen.
Please join with us in singing the echo version of the Lord's Prayer.
Hallowed be thy name.
Well, for the past few weeks now, we've been exploring different movies and different films, different stories, and in each one we've been looking at either a theme or a topic or some way of connecting with that presence of God within us, some way of realizing that our goal, our mission, our work here on this world is to do exactly what Kelly just sang about. To be able to let our music soar, to know that no matter what, that God is in every single aspect of our lives, that God is always there protecting and guiding and supporting and uplifting and moving us in the direction that we need to go in. That's what our goal is. That's what this spiritual work is about. It's about realizing the activity of the presence of God in your life. And so whether you do it through a prayer or through meditation or through spiritual study, it all kind of comes down to that same end goal, that end goal of knowing that that power of God exists within you. Now, usually, the first time you begin working towards really trusting in that power and presence, the second time, the third time, I still have this come up for me. Those moments where you begin working towards trusting that power and presence, the one thing that shows up that will derail you faster than anything else is fear. It's the fear that we're either not good enough, or the fear that somebody out there is going to ridicule you for what you believe in, or for what you think needs to happen. That fear gets into our mind and we forget that God's in every note. We forget that God is in every voice, and we respond from a more human side of ourselves. And that's where the movie Ghostbusters comes in. It was fun talking to a lot of you this week because there were a lot of you that came up. I'm like, okay, I got it with salmon fishing in the Yemen. That was clearly about faith. And then I went and saw Finding Dory, and we were trying to figure out where you were going to go with it because there were so many different areas. But what exactly are you going to do with Ghostbusters? And the thing is, when we look at these stories, whether we find a story in the Bible or it's a story that we read as a novel or a story of history, when we look at them to try and find some sort of spiritual lesson out of that story, sometimes those lessons show up as a theme that the characters are discussing and working through, like the theme of faith and salmon fishing in the Yemen. Or they show up as a plot device, like the seashells in Finding Dory. But sometimes it shows up as a character that you see through the story and you resonate with the journey that character goes on. And see, that's what I saw in the movie Ghostbusters. I saw it in the character that Kristen Wiig played, the scientist, Aaron. Because you see, at the start of the movie, she's teaching science at a university that would fire her if they found out that she believed in ghosts, because that's not very scientific. And so she does everything she can to hide what it is that she believes in from her boss, from her friends, from those people that would make fun of her for believing in ghosts. And she goes on a journey throughout the movie, a journey of realizing that she can let go of that fear, honestly claim what she believes in, and then use what she's believing in and claiming to save New York City. Now, maybe we don't have the chance to save New York City, but I guarantee you that each one of us has at least that one thing in your life that whenever a situation that's new shows up, that little feeling of fear starts kind of moving around in your stomach. That fear that says, I could never get up here and sing like Kelly or like Marianne get up here and sing. That fear that says that, well, I can't start this new job because I'm secure in where I'm at. I can't step out in faith. I'm afraid. So no, we may not be afraid that our bosses and friends will find out that we believe in ghosts and that they'll fire us because of that, but we do have those fears that hold us back. Those fears that hold us back from expressing the light, the love of God that we are. Now let's just be clear though about what sort of fear we're talking about here, because fear shows up in several different ways, and there's one sort of fear that I call it good fear. Because this is the safety net that happens in our world. It's that feeling that shows up when we're driving home and we see the same headlights that have been following behind us for the last 4 or 5 turns, and we start getting really, really, really nervous until they pull into Target. And I don't know if you feel this way, but when I'm the one that's behind them, I always start to feel guilty because I know that they're nervous, that they think I'm following them. And I want to start flashing my lights. So, no, I'm just going home. It's okay. Would probably make it worse, but it's that feeling you get when you look down that dark alley. You go, maybe I shouldn't go that way. This sort of fear, this is good fear to have. It's that instinct in you that's going, whoa, pay attention to what's going on around you. Put down the Pokemon Go and look around, because there's something that you need to pay attention to. And this is the sort of fear that so often it goes away once you get out of that situation. Once you step away from whatever the dangerous situation is, the fear subsides. These are good things to pay attention to. This is not the sort of fear I'm talking about. I'm talking about those learned fears that we have within us. Those fears that show up as anxiety, as worry, as dread, as terror. The fear of not being good enough. The fear of getting sick, the fear of failing, the fear of being alone. And the fears that we learned about ourselves. And please don't misunderstand me. I don't mean that these aren't real fears and that it's silly that you have them, because they are. They're very, very real fears. They're things for us to work through and to move through in our lives so that they don't hold us back. But we have to commit to learning and working through them. Otherwise, they will always hold us back. So there are any any number of ways that you can begin to work through those fears. But these aren't the fears that show up as the ghosts in the world around you. These are the fears that show up as the fear of being found out that you believe that the ghosts are out there. The fears that hold you back from being the unique expression of God that you are. And like I said, there are any number of ways to let go of these fears, because the good news is you learned them and you can unlearn them. I started to say you can unlearn them just as easily as you learned them, but the truth is with some of them, you can't. Some of these fears are deeply rooted in the core of your being. They've been there for a long, long time. Some of them since you were 3, 4 years old. Some of these fears, they take the work of a counselor or a professional to help you work through those psychological elements of them. And there's absolutely no shame in finding help for those fears that are holding you back. But there is one piece of letting go of these fears that no matter what method you decide to work with, to work through those psychological components, there's one piece that each and every one of us has to use. Otherwise, those fears just kind of keep popping back up, sometimes with a different name and a different face, but the same old fear. And that's to never forget the presence of God is active in helping you move through those fears. We can't forget about God. We do that so easily nowadays. It's here, take this pill, here, go see this expert, here, go do this thing. And we forget about the power of the active presence of God in our lives. And that power can just help melt away what those fears are. That specter of fear just sort of dissipates away into the mist once we connect with that truth that we are the presence and power of God. I love the way the author of the Psalms put it, and I know you know this. I know you've heard this before. Even if you've never walked in a church before in your life, I know you've heard this psalm. I'm actually using the Bible today instead of my phone. How very early 2000s of me. This is Psalm 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I fear no evil, for you are with me. Looking at that verse from Unity's metaphysical perspective, it reminds us that when we live from the consciousness of God, when we live from that consciousness that knows that God is present with you, that God is more than just present, that God is there active in your life, the fear just melts away. We believe here that God is all good, that God is in every element in our lives. Some Unity teachers call God the great good. It does not make sense that that thing that is the great good would do anything it could to help instill fear in your life. They don't work together. So this goodness of God is active. And as soon as we affirm, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, that reminds us that that goodness is active and that there is nothing to fear. There's absolutely nothing to fear at all. The third Unity principle states that our thoughts, our beliefs, those things create the world that we experience. Our unique mind creates what it is that we experience in the world around us. So whatever it is that you hold in your mind, that's what you get in the world. So if you control your mind, you control the world. If you control your thoughts, those are the results that you get. Almost felt like that was a fun little kind of like politically, control your thoughts, control your results. I like rhymes. It's fun. But if you control what it is that you're thinking, if you control what thoughts are running through your mind, then you're able to control what shows up in the world. And so if you spend your time in fear, consumed by the belief that everyone out there is going to get you, what do you think you get in your world? Can we think of anybody in our world who is an example of somebody who lets fear control their lives? And what did they get? They got more fear. The more and the more we focus on it, the more we get. So if we want to let go of the fear, we have to change what we think about it. You know, the truth is that God doesn't put obstacles in our path. We do. God doesn't build the obstacle, we build the obstacle. The co-founder of Unity, Myrtle Fillmore, said it this way. You know, when Silent Unity, I'm sure many of you know Silent Unity. If you don't know Silent Unity, it's a 24-hour prayer hotline. You can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY, and there's a voice that's always there, ready to pray with you no matter what, 24 hours a day. Well, when Silent Unity first started, telephones weren't quite as well structured as they are today. So people would write letters asking for prayer support. And Myrtle Fillmore would answer those letters. She would write a prayer letter back. And in one of the letters that she wrote, somebody had asked her about fear. They were afraid to begin a new endeavor. They were afraid of starting something. Fear was holding them back, and this is how Myrtle began her prayer letter. She wrote, "Sometimes we fear that we do not have the ability to do a thing we ought to do. We fear that there are obstacles in the way. If there are obstacles, we have made them. God never put anything in the way of progress. When we get rid of our fears, we find the way is clear for us to go the Lord's way." God never put anything in the way of progress. When those fears begin to show up, when that idea for how you can make a difference in the world shows up and that little seed of fear begins to take root, we have to deal with it immediately. And we deal with it through reminding ourselves of this truth. Reminding ourselves of the truth that God is there and all is well. That I will fear no evil, for you are with me. See, this journey to unleashing our spiritual good, it's a journey in constantly and consistently reminding ourselves of the truth that God is an active presence in your life. Not just a nice idea sitting up on a cloud with a checkbox, but an active presence. That presence shows up uniquely as you in any and all moments. The appearance of fear in our lives, when that shows up, it's a symptom that we've forgotten that truth. When things rattle us, when things have us worried, it's that symptom that we've forgotten that God is an active force. And so the best thing we can do to just melt away those fears is to take the time to close our eyes, to center ourselves in that consciousness of God, and remind ourselves that God is omnipresent good. God is omnipresent protection. And I will fear no evil, for God is with me. We affirm and remember that active presence. Because God doesn't build obstacles. God creates trails of shells for us to follow. So take that time to move within, to trust, to affirm God as an active presence in your life, however that's most comfortable for you. Let the fear melt away and know that all is well. God bless you.